Okay, so um, I made some slides and I am going to go over the upcoming task and basically what you're expected to do for this week. So let's see. Okay. So let's start with the aim. um, the aim question is, how did Lafanu foreshadow the legend of Karnstein in chapter 1, which we're going to go over. We're going to answer the aim together. Well, I'll answer the aim and you're just going to watch. And the learning target is students will be able to connect the events surrounding the death of the general's daughter to Laura's situation and the legend of Karnstein. So this will be quick and brief, but if there's still something you understand, you can comment or just email me and look over it. So what is foreshadowing? I know a lot of you already know what this is, but it doesn't hurt to go over it. So hold on, I need some water. Whew. I'm so uncomfortable. Okay. Foreshadowing is a literary device in which, oh my God, a writer gives an advance hint of what is to come later in the story. Okay? So foreshadowing often appears at the beginning of the story, a chapter, and it helps the reader develop expectations about the coming events in a story. So, with that being said, if you look at the picture, like many of you have told me before, we discussed in class, you know, think of it as a crystal ball. It's kind of like dropping little breadcrumbs of information, hinting at what big thing is going to come later on in the story. So, what's very interesting is when we first started reading this story, after chapter 1, a lot of you were already making predictions based on what the author said. And he really didn't say much to us to kind of truly give us a spoiler alert of what was going to happen. But it led to some of you feeling confident enough that you could predict what was to come. Second is we're going to revisit horror conventions. So for my one class, my A class, in the beginning, we watched this YouTube video about horror conventions. For my B class, I posted the video, which I can post again for you. It goes over the different conventions. So one of the conventions or tropes was this concept of doubles, which in some novels can be a doppelganger, but in this case, it's kind of things mirroring each other, right? So concurrent themes or events, characters, homes, like in the picture from The Shining, the twins are an example of doubles, right? So it can be characters from past and present with the same names, which we've seen in the story Carmilla. So you should probably really focus on that. And it demonstrates how the past affects the present, which with Carmilla's character, I feel like we've seen a little bit. And also, I would even go on to say that the experience of the general's daughter is kind of doing that too. So that's really the convention of doubles. Just think of it as mirroring, like two things happening at the same time. We're like kind of like seeing the mirror images of the two, the similarity. Moving on, let's go back to this aim question. How did Lafanu foreshadow the legend of Karnstein in chapter 1? Right? So this is a very long quote. and I'm kind of out of breath. So I'm not going to read it because I already made this video and it didn't save. I don't know what I did wrong, but take a few minutes to read this quote. I will also post the slide so you can go back to it. We'll drink some water. Okay. I'm sorry I'm like huge and like doing the bare minimum makes me tired. And I was supposed to make this video yesterday, so I do truly, truly apologize. Whew, okay. I know some of you are still reading, so keep going. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that you're done reading, I've highlighted what I feel is the most important part of the paragraph that tells us or shows us the foreshadowing, which is, I have said the nearest inhabited village because there's only 3 miles westward. That is so to say in the direction of General Spilsdorf Schloss, a ruined village with its quaint little church, now roofless, in the aisle of which are the moldering tombs of the proud family of Karnstein, now extinct, who once owned the equally desolate chateau, which in the thick of the forest overlooks the silent ruins of the town. So, I know you're probably thinking, mixed. There's not that much information there. What do you mean he's like foreshadowing the legend of Karnstein? Now, just a reminder to you, like I said in the beginning, a lot of you saw this and thought like already it was hinting at something crazy was going to happen or something that this Karnstein meant something before you even knew that there was really a legend of Karnstein, right? That's what the foreshadowing is. Because now after you've read, you kind of already have this understanding that Karnstein has some vampires. It was a place where the general wants to go to get revenge. Like, so think of before you even got there, how did this kind of prepare you? I mean, if you look at the language of what I highlight, first of all, the whole paragraph describes the scene, the setting, it sets the stage, right? When it talks about this place where the Karnstein family lived, who they're expressing was a proud family, probably someone of like importance, is now completely extinct and gone. There's no more, right? One. Two, there's nothing but ruins here. So what was this before? It kind of starts to get your wheels turning that this family that's now extinct, that their castle is now desolate, ruined, tombs destroyed. How did it get there? That's what I want you to consider and think about. That's really all that this foreshadowing is. Like all of the things that the author has done throughout the story kind of built up to this legend of Karnstein, from worst dreams, everything, right? So, your discussion question, which you need to respond to your peers, one, and two, really, I'm happy that you guys are doing the discussion questions. Like, let's be real, happy that that's happening. But I want you to, some of you to be a little bit more detailed in what you're saying, because I know that you can do it. And I do miss hearing your voices. So I really enjoy when you really, really tell me what you think about these characters, the story. I know it's getting close to the end, but Please. So the question is, how is the death of the general's daughter related to what is currently happening to Laura? Right? So you need to consider the following two things. Go back to the definition of doubles, and what does that mean as a trope in the horror genre, right? Does Laura's experiences mirror another character's? More specifically, do her experiences mirror that of Bertha, the general's daughter? Are there similarities there? What are they? You know that there are because of the writing assignment that you did last week, right? Second, what about Laura and Carmela's relationship? Does their relationship mirror another relationship that took place in this story, right? So kind of like what I said about the doubles, consider characters from the past and present with the same names. Carmela is Malarca. Malarca is simply Carmela spelled backwards, which some of you picked up on. And also, how is the past affecting the present? Okay, so really think about those things before you do the discussion. Also, you can edit your answers. So if you watch this video after and you're like, you know what, I can make it better, good, you should do that. Don't ever hesitate to go back and change your answer because that is okay. Now, lastly, all this is important this week because this is leading up to your next big writing assignment. So all this is leading up to the summative assessment, the big assessment at the end of the unit, before we move on to the next thing, which I'm gonna post on Thursday. What's that, Wednesday? Yes, I'm gonna post it tomorrow. Because everyone should be caught up from having that whole week off, hopefully. Hopefully, if not, you got a lot of stuff to do. But remember, this is 2 to 3 paragraphs. 2 paragraphs, 6 to 8 sentences. The issue is, I think some of you try to just go by the number of sentences, but what it really is about is, did you thoroughly answer the question in your response? Forget length, right? I'm not talking about 20 pages, but if you know it's going to take you 10 to 15 sentences to answer the question properly so you can get 100, do so. Because for these writing assignments, I'm using a rubric, which I post with the assignment. So before you submit it, you should go over the task again, make sure that you look at the rubric so your response follows. Because you've done this before with me in school, and you told me you're capable of doing it out of school. But honestly, the main thing is your evidence strong enough? Are you proving what I'm asking you? Are you just summarizing it? Or are you showing that you can analyze? Remember, you have to show me that you can break down your thinking process to me and explain how the author is using this specific device to develop this specific thing. In this case, it's how did La Fanu use foreshadowing to develop the Gothic convention of doubles, right? So I think the previous one, you had more freedom, which you were able to pick and choose. And for some of us, that's easier. Some of us, that makes it more challenging. Here, I'm giving you the device I want you to use, no other device, because some of you like to use 2 or 3. I always only ask you for one, just one, okay? So here you're focusing on foreshadowing. And how is it developing the convention of doubles? So you can focus on one example of doubles, which can be Malarca and Bertha's relationship in comparison to Laura's and Camilla's relationship. Honestly, right? But in your response, you have to discuss the conventions of double in the text and analyze how the author's use of foreshadowing develops this convention. Of course, you need to use strong and thorough evidence from the text to support your analysis. Do not simply summarize the text and only use foreshadowing. I don't want to see imagery. I don't want to see simile. I don't want to see metaphor. I only want to see foreshadowing, okay? So that is it. If you have any questions, email me. If you are still struggling to keep up, please email me now. Do not wait till June 11th. Do not wait till June 12th. Don't even wait till June 1st. Do it now. Please let me know. I know a lot of you did some work over the weekend and the past couple of days last week. I have not graded, so don't email me can you grade this? Don't rush me, okay? As you can see, I am struggling. This thing is heavy. I'm tired. Okay. So it will get done. And if you've noticed, a lot of you, I haven't graded, not a lot of you, but some of you, I won't grade if I don't like it. I will tell you, I know you can do better because I know that you can, and go back and fix it. Um, it's not them being mean, but this is still school. It's a hard time for all of us. I know it can be stressful, um, but I know the quality of work that y'all can do. And why would I settle for giving you a 55, 65 when I know you can do 85, 95 work? Now, if you're fine with whatever, that's also okay. But you know I'm gonna tell you about yourself. Okay? So that's all for this week. I'll probably post another one of these next week to explain the final assignment for this unit, and then what the next big thing is that's going to take us to June 12th, which would be, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for a lot of you, hopefully, because it's more of like an independent study. But I hope all is well with all of you. Hope all your classes are going well. Excuse me. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend. I wish I could have did live yesterday, but I had a lot of stuff going on, and I wasn't in one place long enough to sit and have live class. So please, please, please watch this video, and I hope you all have a good day.